Ladies and gentlemen, we got several big guests coming up today. We've got former Congressman Dr. Ron Paul coming on the broadcast. And then we have Kurt Haskell, who witnessed the federal government getting the underwear bomber on the plane. Well, now we learned that's the Islamicists that attacked, supposedly over in France. They were in the same safe house and trained by the same people and were all Iraqi. So to be clear, I'm not saying there aren't radical Muslim terrorists. I'm not saying that this probably wasn't a real attack. I'm saying upstream, the West is funding, financing, and protecting these people so that special interest can take our freedoms. And I want to open the phones up today and get your take on all of this. This is obviously the new big kickoff. They've said on the news, this will never end. It's like the war on drugs. You're ready to give up all your liberties. ISIS is going to be attacking America, MI6, CIA. They're all saying it. Why? It's metastasized. It's spread. It's all over. We can't stop it. France deploys 10,000 troops on the streets, checkpoints everywhere, for 3 punks who went to al-Qaeda training camps in Yemen, and now the girlfriend has run through Turkey to Syria, where our government and other governments in the West have given tens of billions of dollars the last 4+ years to these very groups to run around doing to Syria what was done in Paris on a scale of, if they've killed over 300,000 people, that's a number about a year old. It slowed down some, but it's close to 350,000 people killed, most of them civilians, by al-Qaeda and affiliated ISIS scumbag formations out of Saudi Arabia. That's who's quarterbacking and funding the whole deal. Well, more than quarterbacking, it's kind of the back office, if you use a football analogy or baseball analogy. What's 350,000 divided by 20? Can you guys do that? And that's how many times bigger the ISIS-Al-Qaeda bloodbath has been for Syria alone. Over 100,000 last numbers we've gotten since Al-Qaeda liberated, with Western backing, Libya. And now they're taking their time killing all the non-radical Muslims, all the Alawites, any Christians they can get their mittens on. Oh,
hey, Alex, we have that number.
We have the number?
Yes, sir. 17,500.
So 17,500 times. We need to do a story on that. The numbers vary, 250,000, 350,000. But if you add it all together, it's over 300,000 on average have died in the 4.5-year, quote, civil war started by the West and backed by the West. 17,000 times more people plus. If you divide 20 into 350,000. Think about that. 17,000 plus times as many people as died in France. You would think it was the end of the world what happened in France. You would think that flying saucers landed and blew up every major city, how big the story is. I'm sad 20 people are dead. That many people died in a couple hours yesterday on U.S. highways. And then media gets to, and the government gets to act like it's for free speech. Just like Obama did with the interview being hacked. Turned out that was an inside job, not North Korea. While they roll out internet censorship big time. Well, guess what Paul Watson discovered? It's up on Infowars.com, and DrudgeReport.com picked it up. ISIS hack of Pentagon Twitter accounts traced back to Maryland. NSA implicated in latest cybersecurity scare. Stay with us, ladies and gentlemen. We'll be right back. Remember back in the late 80s, they came out with that album with the New World Order, exposing the New World Order. Al Jorgensen of Ministry, who is a fellow Austinite. He also lives down in El Paso part of the year. We need to get him in studio sometime. I ought to give Al of Ministry fame a call. One more musician awake to what's going on in the world. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we are broadcasting worldwide on this Tuesday, the 13th day of January, 2015, worldwide broadcast. And we have been somewhat distracted, even though it's been an important story, with the attacks in Paris, because it is a true-life, bloody soap opera. Our hearts go out to the 20 dead. And through this Rosetta Stone, this skeleton key, this decoder ring of looking at how the media presents the official story and how it's now unraveled, it shows us the rest of the story. So even globalist propaganda can be deciphered as a teaching tool to show folks how the cow ate the cabbage. But I'm not going to spend too much time on that today. I'm sure callers will want to talk about it. We have former Congressman Ron Paul joining us, and then we have another whistleblower guest who witnessed a staged terror attack and was then proven correct in Congress that it indeed was a pretty much staged event. Kurt Haskell, the lawyer, will be joining us from Michigan, from Detroit. Now, we covered this yesterday, that the Paris shooters trained with the underwear bomber Patsy. That's how long they've been training with al-Qaeda. At least 5 years. 5 years. You heard me right. And we're allowed to travel in and out of the country and post terrorist training videos on Facebook. And no one stopped them, but we need new cybersecurity laws passed that they're now introducing to get rid of free speech, legalize NSA spying that's illegal right now. Europe's announcing the same thing. We need more militarized police, 10,000 troops on the streets of France, the U.S. sending advisors on how to properly make it look like occupied France from 1940, 1941. That's the answer. Don't control the borders. Don't arrest people when they clearly are training at al-Qaeda training camps and are on no-fly list. Keep letting them fly in and out, just like they did with Major Hassan, controlled by Anwar al-Awlaki, the Fort Hood shooter, just like he controlled the underwear bomber, just like he controlled these guys, these latest scumbags. And then Awlaki, it's come out in the Associated Press and London Guardian, and Colonel Schaefer's talked about it on air. In fact, just cue that back up, please. And it came out in congressional testimony, and that Anwar al-Awlaki is a double, triple agent of MI6, CIA, and al-Qaeda. And they say, oh, he was a triple agent. He snuck up on us. No, he handles all these people, and then they allow the attacks to take place. Major Hassan was a out-of-his-mind killer and was a real terrorist. But he was handled and manipulated by a globalist controller, Anwar al-Awlaki. Same thing with these three scumbags in France. Same thing with the drugged-up underwear bomber and a bunch of other patsies that Awlaki handles. So we have that, and we know our government and other Western governments have given over $10 billion the last 4.5 years that we know about. It's $2 billion just last year from the U.S. alone. So when I say $10 billion, I guess that's wrong. That's U.S. numbers. I haven't added up all the other countries. France was the other big contributor. Saudi Arabia is the secret contributor and contributes to the coordination. That's come out. To kill 17,000 times. We did the math earlier. What was the exact number? If you divide 20 dead French into 350,000 dead Syrians, most of them civilians, killed by al-Qaeda and ISIS groups. Boko Haram in Africa, al-Qaeda flag, same group. But in Syria, 300,000+. If you divide 20 into that, it's 17,000 plus times. 17,500 times more people have been killed in 4.5 years, Western-backed, paid for by U.S. taxpayers, Turkish taxpayers, French taxpayers, advised by our military. 17,500 times more people and change have died. Are there going to be any marches for them? No. Are there going to be candlelight vigils? No. Is there going to be any news coverage? No. Only 2 years ago, when thousands of officers, commissioned and non-commissioned,